I walked into my Seattle home and stopped cold. Two strangers were carrying a massive gray sectional through my front door, while my mother-in-law stood in the middle of the room, directing them like she owned the place. "Perfect, right there by the window," Diane said, clapping her hands. "This is going to look so much better than that old junk." Old junk. I was still standing in the doorway, my work bag hanging off my shoulder, trying to process what I was seeing. My father-in-law, Roger, pointed toward the corners as another delivery man brought in armchairs. "Put those there." "Good. Much better. Now it actually looks like adults live here." "What?" My voice came out tight. "What is happening?" Diane turned, beaming. "Surprise, Harper. We redecorated." I blinked. "Your furniture was so outdated," she continued. "Honestly shabby. We knew you'd never get around to fixing it, so we handled it for you." I stepped further inside. My house. The one I bought 3 years ago with my own money. The one I built piece by piece. Except now, it wasn't mine anymore. The living room was unrecognizable. Gone. My 1960s walnut credenza. Gone. My restored Eames lounge chair. Gone. My vintage Adrian Pearsall sofa. Gone. My custom oak coffee table. Every piece I had spent 5 years hunting down, restoring, and loving, replaced with bland beige showroom furniture that looked like it had no story at all. No soul. "Where is my furniture?" I asked quietly. "In the dumpster out back," Roger said, like he was talking about empty boxes. "We rented one. Had to clear space." The words didn't register at first. "The dumpster." I repeated. "It was falling apart anyway," Diane added with a dismissive wave. "That couch was stained. The wood was scratched. And that chair, honestly, that worn leather? Harper, this is an upgrade." I didn't respond. I just walked to the back door and opened it. And there was a large construction dumpster, filled with my life. My credenza tossed on its side. My chair upside down, one leg cracked. My sofa buried under random debris. 5 years of early mornings at estate sales. 5 years of auctions, negotiations, restorations. 5 years of building something that actually meant something to me. Gone. "Harper." I turned. Ethan had just come in from the garage, his expression confused. "I just got your text. What's going on? Did you know about this?" I asked. "No," he said immediately. "I was at work. Mom said she was dropping off food. I gave her the garage code." He looked around the room. And then his face changed. "Mom, what did you do?" "We gave you a gift," Diane said proudly, gesturing to the furniture like it was a prize. $30,000 worth of beautiful modern pieces. She smiled. "You're welcome." 30,000? I repeated slowly. "Well, 32 with delivery and assembly," Diane corrected, waving her hand. "But we rounded down." Roger pulled out his phone like this was all perfectly normal. "We put it on our credit card. You can just transfer the money whenever." I stared at him. "You expect me to pay for furniture I didn't ask for?" "Well, we can't afford $30,000, Harper," Diane said, her tone tightening. "We did this for you. Obviously you'll reimburse us." My hands were shaking, but my voice wasn't. I pulled out my phone and opened a folder labeled Insurance, Furniture. "Before we talk about reimbursement," I said quietly, "you need to see something." I turned the screen toward them. "This is the professional appraisal of my furniture collection. Done 6 months ago." I tapped the first document. The Eames lounge chair. 1960. Original Herman Miller. Professionally restored. I looked up. Appraised at $8,500. Diane's smile flickered. I swiped. The Adrian Pearsall gondola sofa. Original upholstery. Excellent condition. Appraised at $12,000. Roger leaned in, squinting. I swiped again. The George Nakashima walnut credenza. Signed piece. 1970s. $15,000. "That can't be right," Diane said weakly. "That old buffet." "It's not a buffet," I cut in. "It's a custom credenza by one of the most important woodworkers of the 20th century. I bought it for $200 and had it authenticated." I kept scrolling. The Milo Bauman coffee table, $3,500. Paul McCobb chairs, $2,800 for the pair. Vintage Scandinavian teak bookshelf, $1,200. I lowered my phone. The total appraised value of the furniture you threw into a dumpster is $43,000. Silence. I have full insurance coverage for it. The color drained from Diane's face. But it looked so cheap, she whispered. It looked vintage, I said evenly. Because it was vintage. Museum-quality mid-century modern pieces that I spent 5 years collecting. Behind me, Ethan was already running outside. A second later, I heard him shout, "Oh my God! Oh my God!" Roger cleared his throat. "Well, it's still there. We can just take it out." "Can we?" I said. I walked to the back door. Ethan was already climbing into the dumpster trying to move things carefully, but it was too late. "The chair's leg is cracked," he called out. "The credenzas gouged, bad. The sofa frame, Harper, it's bent. I think they threw the bookshelf on top of it." I turned back slowly. "You didn't just throw my furniture away," I said. "You destroyed it." "We didn't know," Diane said quickly. "You didn't ask." My voice sharpened. "You walked into my house without permission. You threw out my property without consent. And then you replaced it with furniture I didn't choose, didn't want, and definitely didn't agree to pay for." "We were helping," Roger snapped. "No," I said. "Helping is asking first." I took a step forward. This is trespassing. This is destruction of property. And if you expect me to pay for any of this is fraud." One of the delivery guys awkwardly raised his hand. Ma'am, we need a signature." I looked at him. "I'm not signing anything. I didn't order this." He checked his tablet. "It says Diane Blackwood. She listed you as her daughter." "I'm not her daughter," I said coldly. "I'm her daughter-in-law. And this is my house." I gestured toward the door. "I didn't authorize this delivery. I'm not accepting it." "Harper, don't be ridiculous," Diane started. "Get my house." The delivery guys immediately started backing up. "So, we're taking everything back?" one asked. "Yes. Every single piece. But some of it's already assembled." "Then disassemble it." Roger stepped forward. "Now hold on, we can't return this. It was custom ordered." "That's a lie," Ethan said, climbing out of the dumpster, breathing hard. He pointed at the sectional. "That's the Brookfield model from Furniture Depot. I looked at it last year." "It's a stock item," Ethan said flatly. "Nothing custom about it." "Some pieces were special order," Diane insisted. "Which ones?" I asked. Silence. I nodded once. "That's what I thought." I turned to the delivery team. "Everything goes back. Now." They didn't argue. At this point it was obvious they wanted no part of the situation. Within minutes they started taking the sectional apart, unscrewing legs, wrapping cushions, moving quickly. In the corner, Diane and Roger shifted between defensiveness and desperation. "We spent hours picking this out," Diane said. "We were trying to make your home look better. You've always had terrible taste anyway." "Terrible taste?" Ethan snapped, turning on her. "Mom, Harper is a professional designer. Companies pay her 6 figures to build their brand identities. Her work has been featured in magazines. But sure, you know better." "I was just trying." "No," he cut in. "You were trying to control someone else's home." Roger stepped forward, changing tactics. "Son, we're family. Let's handle this reasonably. You can just pay for the furniture that got damaged." I shook my head. "My insurance will cover part of it. But I have a $5,000 deductible. And some of those pieces are irreplaceable." I looked straight at Diane. "You don't just replace a signed Nakashima piece." "We're not paying for used furniture," she snapped. "Then you'll be paying for something else," I said calmly. "Because I'm filing a police report for destruction of property, and I'll be suing you for the full appraised value." Her face went rigid. "You'd sue your husband's parents?" "You destroyed $43,000 worth of my property," I said. "And tried to make me pay $30,000 for furniture I never asked for." "Yes, I would." By then the last piece of their furniture was being loaded back onto the truck. The delivery supervisor approached me with a tablet. "Ma'am, just to confirm, you're refusing the entire delivery?" "Correct. Return everything. There will be restocking fees. Send the bill to Diane and Roger Blackwood." They placed the order. Diane let out a sharp gasp. "We can't afford restocking fees." Then you shouldn't have spent $30,000 without asking, I said. This is what consequences look like. After the truck left, the house felt hollow. Ethan and I walked out to the dumpster. Carefully, we started assessing the damage. The chair might be salvageable, he said, inspecting it. But it'll cost at least $1,500 to repair. The credenza. I ran my fingers over the deep gouge. $800, maybe more. He exhaled slowly. The sofa's frame is bent. That might be a total loss. $12,000. Gone. We kept going. Coffee table reparable. Chairs, thankfully untouched. Bookshelf, cracked shelf fixable. When we finished, the estimate sat heavy between us. About $18,000 in damage, I said quietly. Behind us, Diane and Roger stood on the patio watching. This is excessive, Roger muttered. No, I said, lifting my phone and taking another photo. This is documentation. I snapped a close-up of the credenza. What's excessive is throwing away someone else's property. Diane's voice wavered. You're really calling the police? Yes, I said without hesitation. You trespassed. You destroyed property. And you tried to make me pay for something I didn't order. Ethan straightened, his expression hard. Mom, Dad, you need to leave. Now. Arrested. Diane clutched Roger's arm. She's threatening to have us arrested. My wife is the victim of multiple crimes, Ethan said. So yes, that's a possibility. We're your parents. And you broke into my house, he shot back. I gave you that code for emergencies, not for this. You abused my trust. You destroyed her property. You tried to manipulate her into paying for your mistake. He stepped forward. This ends now. They left. Diane crying. Roger muttering threats about regret. The door closed behind them, and for the first time all day, it was quiet. We stood in the empty living room. I'm sorry, Ethan said softly. I'm so sorry. You didn't do this, I said. You trusted your parents. That's not wrong. I looked around the space that used to feel like home. What they did, that's wrong. He swallowed. What do we do now? Now. I said, steady again. I call insurance. I file a claim. I get repair estimates. Replace what's gone. I met his eyes. And I file a police report. He nodded slowly. And my parents? I'll bill them for the deductible. $5,000. They won't pay. Then I take them to small claims court, I said. I have photos. Appraisals. Documentation. I'll win. He ran a hand through his hair. This is going to destroy my relationship with them. I stepped closer and touched his arm. They destroyed it, I said gently. Not you. I filed the police report that afternoon. The officer listened carefully, then nodded. Technically, this is criminal mischief and attempted fraud, he said. But since it's family, the DA may hesitate, unless the damages are high enough. $18,000 in damage, I said. And $30,000 in attempted charges. He let out a low whistle. That might be enough. He closed his notebook. I'll file the report. A detective will follow up. I nodded. Then I went home and opened my laptop. Next step. The insurance claim.my insurance agent was stunned. They threw away a Nakashima piece, he said. Harper. I'm honestly speechless. Can you cover it? I asked. We'll cover what we can verify as a total loss, he replied. The Adrian Pearsall sofa is likely gone. The George Nakashima credenza might be reparable, so we'd cover restoration. Minus your deductible. I'll send an adjuster out tomorrow. Diane called Ethan 17 times that night. He didn't answer. She left voicemails. Crying, angry, pleading. How can you let her do this to us?